Hello, thank you for tuning in to another video. In this video I'm going to be drawing. I'm going to be drawing another Inktober prompt like it was in the last video. The prompt for this particular day is swing. It is day 9 of Inktober. Probably going to be uploading this around day 10 or 11 of Inktober. I am trying to do a weekly upload schedule, not really set on every Thursday or every Wednesday, but once a week. Set a milestone that should be pretty easy to achieve. I've learned that these are pretty time consuming, but very fun. And it's fun to kind of talk about the drawing process and what was going through my head. I think it's really helpful to do that and kind of critique and both reflect and critique on what I was doing and if it made sense in retrospect and things like that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more. But for now, here I am drawing a swing in a tree. I was kind of torn on if I was going to draw a boxer, someone in a fight throwing a punch, baseball bats swinging, things like that. But I really kind of felt like just sticking with my comfort zone. Trees, landscapes, not people drawing. Those are very relaxing and enjoyable to draw, and the subject matter I think is kind of calming as well. So, in the video, what I'm doing here with the auxiliary notebook is that I got to the point in drawing where I was not sure what I wanted to do next. I was going to draw some leaves, and I had a lot of options to pursue with texture and value. So I thought I'm going to bust out this auxiliary notebook. I'm going to see what it looks like. Make sure I like it before committing to the main drawing, because at this point I had already sunk a lot of time into an underdrawing and some pen work, and I didn't want to start over. So I put down a light source, which is what that little box is, put some guidelines on the spheres, which I was going to use as guides for leaves, and got to work with texture and value to see how I liked it. One thing I noticed immediately and made me very thankful for having practiced is that these leaf bunches are way too spherical. They were really bizarre and unnatural, and while they weren't unpleasant looking, it wasn't what I was going for. I wanted something that looked more natural and not manufactured or hedge trimmed. So I still got a lot of value out of working on the texture and the shading, and I felt confident to go back to the real drawing with the knowledge that I was going to kind of try and switch it up, make it a little more natural, a little more varied. I still am using spheres as guidelines. And as you can see, I kind of was still too adherent to that sphere shape. I do think I kind of worked it out a little better as the drawing goes on. And I tacked on some more lumps and weird shapes. The thing is, I'm not sure if the end result is what any tree in nature looks like. The leaf bunches are a little askew, and while I'm happy with their appearance overall, if I could redo it, I probably would. I mean, I could redo it at any time, but I'm not gonna. So I kind of jump forward here to a point where I put in a border. I realized that this drawing was going to take a little longer than I thought it would, and I wanted to put some constraints on it so I could, in my mind, think I'm almost there or I'm this close. The reason is that a lot of this drawing is texture, leaf texture, and very repetitious texture at that, to get to the values that I want and the varying degrees of dark and light that I want, aka values. I had to go very slow and layer a lot. Here's a real-time version of what that looks like. Now, this is pretty much the speed I was going the whole time with the texture, and it's slow. To get dark, I have to go over the same area 3 or 4 times, and while I was very pleased to do that because I liked how it was coming out, I really needed to kind of give myself the mental boost of here's where it's ended. That being said, on the other side, I wasn't sure how far I wanted my branches to go out, if I would need to add any more, so I left that open until I felt more confident I was nearing the end. The trunk I'm not all that familiar with wood texture, so I just did what felt right. It's nothing but parallel lines, and on the darker side, put them closer to get a wood texture. It's actually one of the biggest mistakes of the drawing. The leaves and foliage up top, the light source is coming from the top right, and the bottom left side is the darker side, and that's where I put all the shadowy leaves. And then on the trunk, the light source is coming from the left side and covering the right side in shadow. So it's like I have two conflicting and completely opposite light sources. Something I did on my test notebook was put in a box for where the light source was, and I thought, I don't need that, but maybe it would have been helpful. I still like the look, but it is an inconsistency that as soon as I finished the trunk, I realized what I had done. Kind of slapped myself on the wrist for it. So just filming the swing texture and darkening up the owl hole or knot hole. I've never actually seen an owl hole in real life, but I have seen holes in trees that are just knots, or maybe like a woodpecker. So whatever type of creature would make that hole, that is what it is. The difference between the rock texture here on the bottom and the leaf texture is that with the rocks I was doing a lot closer, more parallel, and really trying hard not to scribble. There were some points where I kind of went into the old habit of the leaves, having done it for like an hour at that point, of just loopy. So here it's just a bunch of parallel lines, very close, to get a sharper texture that I imagine most rocks have. There are some smooth rocks, but this floating island has jagged, sharp rocks on the bottom. Again, I tried very hard to put in some varying values in there to get the crevices and crannies. I also had on my other border because I know where I want it to end. Knowing where I wanted it to end, it still felt kind of empty, so I put that horizon on there, and then I busted out my brush pen, which has a gray pigment in it. The brush pen was something that I have used in the past, but I'm not overly comfortable with. I got in a art delivery box of calligraphy supplies. I don't do calligraphy, but I do enjoy using it for this purpose. I decided to throw on some clouds because I knew I kind of wanted it to be a gray day, but as soon as I put them in, I realized that I knew how I wanted to finish the drawing out. I have some unnatural layering of horizontal clouds here with some bizarre breaks, and it's very clean in the background, but I think it kind of works because we've got a floating island, weirdly shaded tree, giant ocean, and now we have this bizarre set of clouds. I think it all works, and I was pretty pleased with the way it came out. One other thing that I was pleased with was I let these clouds dry enough that when I went back to them and added another layer, it actually added some intriguing shadowing. I was really happy with that and how it came out, because I normally get a little rushed with watercolors and inks and things like that, and I just get a big muddy one-tone mess. But here got to add some value that I really liked. Say that's just about the end of the drawing and all I really have to say. So thanks for watching, and I hope you liked it. Goodbye.